You hear about these recovery centers. You don't know exactly what happens there and what needs to happen to kind of set up for it. So where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, we always like to break some stigma. There are, you see the commercials on TV. There's usually two pictures in your head. There's the Passages of Malibu, which are hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you go sit on a beach and maybe you get recovered. But, I mean, you're talking celebrity status, right, to try to go out there. Or you're thinking a hospital institution.
Yeah.
And some people, have that asylum setting. And
Yep.
I'd say we're in between, but we are really set up like a college campus. We have 9 buildings set up like dorm units. We have an administration building and a full gym, full basketball court, and a full, as you can see, by how shredded I am.
Well, you use it a lot.
Right.
Well, you're in the cardio. That's named after you.
Yeah, right.
The Chrissy Pondoff Cardio Studio.
Yeah. Chrissy Pondoff Cardio Studio.
When I walked into the gym first time, Eric brought me like a lawyer, a stack of paperwork. He's, you got to sign all these waivers here. We're not going down for you getting hurt. Yeah.
Talk about it.
Man, I used to, I skated 8 days a week. So once I stopped skating, and
I get it.
I told Eric, I go, man, you're in this so much. You get, is things going on okay at home? I mean, I'm still getting some at home. So why am I? I don't. What do I need to put in the extra work? As soon as she stops putting out, I'll start.
Oh, she's listening.
I'll get to the gym.
She's listening.
My wife would never listen to any of this.
It's for the best.
The other shows, any of them.
It's for the best.
Yeah,
exactly.
Best. That's why she's still married. Probably.
So the stigma of the
right, Charlie.
100%. Although I have to say, my wife enjoys listening to the non-sports segments of these shows.
Sure.
When we break down Cardinals, zero interest, Blues, Mizzou football, but she likes the dumb stuff.
Kate's the same way.
100%.
Kate's the same way. But what you're saying about just like the stigma of when you think of a recovery center.
Did you get a sense that you were in a hospital?
When I went,
No. At IRC.
Oh God, no.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. But that's the stigma, though.
Right.
Or, yeah, you're in that white room and you kind of like they're keeping an eye on you and stuff like that. No,
exactly.
It's a nice hotel, is what it is.
When you come in and if you need detox, which we have a medically assisted detox program, we're not a pharmacy. So if you come in, depending on your substance, we're going to help you with comfort meds and we have a medically assisted treatment program based off Suboxone if it's opioids or if you're using fentanyl. The sad reality is you can't even get heroin anymore. Heroin's not on the streets. It's all synthetic fentanyl.
Yeah.
Heroin's not even available. We've learned so much. When Eric's approaching his 7-year sober birthday, my drug of choice was alcohol. I did a lot of coke when I was drinking, but it was only I tell people that I used cocaine to drink more.
Yep.
It was a catalyst to my number one addiction. It allowed me to drink more. I didn't wake up in the morning and want to do a line to get through the day. I woke up in the morning and started drinking, and then when I couldn't drink more, then I would get cocaine so I could drink more. So my primary drug of choice was alcohol, and Eric's story was the opioids, and he's got an incredible story, and he's helping people transform their lives. It's really an amazing thing, and he runs the joint as
he runs
Eric,
the show, baby. Yeah.
As Eric will
There's
say,
a lot that you have to do, man. There's a lot going on.
Well, I used an Ericism at my house with my 9-year-old. He'll be 10 on Sunday. The other day, I said, hey Charlie, what did Uncle Eric say over at IRC? This is my house.
There it is.
No, he did say
and
that.
Eric said when if
But he's fair too.
100%, man, and going through what he's gone through, he gets on the level and can empathize with how hard it is to get off some of this crap to you FCC here.
You're good.
The withdrawing from opioids and heroin and fentanyl isn't. If you do it cold turkey, it won't kill you, but you'll feel like you're dying. I mean, you're
for months too. Long time.
you're
pissing out of your ass.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was trying
You're
to think.
pissing out of your
I
ass.
didn't know.
I'll say it.
If the young man back there's got the dump button, Cole. But yeah, dump. The pissing out of your ass. You're sicker than a dog. It's crazy.
You're depressed.
So what Suboxone does is it'll taper you.
Yeah.
You'll be irritable, but the detox facility, it is a very comforting setting. You have TVs in each room because we want you comfortable.
Big windows.
Yeah, windows so you get some sunlight in. We have when I say like a college campus, each unit, each building, housing unit is you walk. It's set up around. There's a lot of grass. There's it's like a park atmosphere.
Yep.
So it's really conducive to your mental health, and it's not all under one roof with VCT tile and institutionalized cinder block paint and. Yeah,
it's happy.
It's making you feel like the walls aren't closing in on you.
100%.
Like you're getting to live. You're getting to get out and get some environment. And I think more importantly than that, everything you've said here right now says with that environment, with everything else, somebody believes in you.
100%.
Which is incredibly important when you're fighting inside.
Oh, that demon, baby.
Because you can't be in a place where you feel like you're boxed in a room when you're already stuck in your head.
That's a great
trying
point.
to get out.
That is a great point. You're not alone. We have over 100 years experience in our leadership team of people in recovery, from our CEO to our executive director. We have a primary therapist that's full time. Our clinical director is incredible. Sees people. We work on your mental health. We work on your physical health when you're detoxing. And then it's all education based. And then what we do subsequently, after you're detoxing, we bring in your family, and we do a family therapy program, which is unique, but it's critical because we oftentimes have noticed in the treatment industry, for lack of a better term, we're just treating the symptoms of addiction and not treating the environment. When we work with families, we want to make sure we're not discharging our client to there's times where you're discharging a client to an abusive relationship or
right back at it.
And those are the extremes. But sometimes we work with the families that don't understand addiction as much and don't understand how to support or stop enabling or recognize addictive behavior if they notice, or to help promote a program that our client is working on their outpatient.
You're in the sustainability business at that point, because when you've got a guy or anybody that's gone through a situation like that, all the good work that you've done and all the things that you've made that progress with are out the window if they leave right back into what drives them close to being in that place.
100%. You got it right. And the family program that we have is led by a family therapist his name's Kevin Button. He comes in and works every Saturday with the family. They come in. If they want visitation through the week, they need to participate in this program, and it's been incredibly successful. We've gotten so much good feedback on it, and it's just vital. We have to educate, and when you're the addict, when I'm the drinking, I'm the guy that's using. I'm self-medicating from my carnage, but my family, my loved ones, are dealing with it. They're not self-medicating, so it's oftentimes worse on those around us. It's worse. Cam. Our families are the ones bearing the brunt of all our BS and all our carnage as we're
lies.
Using. Yeah,
lying to them.
So it helps rebuild some of the trust and set up an accountability structure that is so key to success and recovery. And Eric always says we start planning your discharge upon your arrival, on working with the family and where you're going to work and the program you're going to work as you leave.
Like, what do you mean by that? So, like, what's the schedule if people do sign up? They get the patient in there. Like what? So you go through the detox first,
yeah,
and then once you get out of that, which is very painful, but that's the hardest part, in my opinion. Well, the hard part, direct hard part, like your body's going to be shut down. You're going to feel low. I mean, the hard part's just sticking with it, of course. But so when you get out of that, like, explain what you do and kind of the schedule that everybody kind of goes through.
It's pretty vigorous. We have it's education and group therapy, and there's individual therapy sessions and group therapy sessions and group learning, and it starts in the morning. There's very early. I think 5 to 6, 5 to 6:30 that you have the ability to get up and use the gym. Then breakfast, and then you go right into group learning. There's a break right before lunch where you could throw bags. We have some activities. You can go back to your room, and if you're in treatment. So we have the dorms, a male dorm, a female dorm, Detox, 50 beds. The campus was originally a adults with disabilities, special needs campus, if you will, like similar to a nursing home. Mm-hmm. It was an institution over in Swansea, Illinois, which is just across the river. People hear Illinois and they think it's an hour away. It's 15 minutes from the river, and we did a ton of work to the buildings because it was kind of an institution when we took it over, and we got rid of all that feel. It's a massive. It was used for 110 beds. We won't grow to that. We will outkick our coverage, if you will. It's hard to staff when you start trying to take that many. Yeah. The quality of care starts to come down.
Exactly. I mean, it's got to be attentiveness per person.
Right.
I mean, there's so much that goes into it.
I mean, we're fully nursed. We have 24/7 nursing staff on site with our behavioral health techs, our peer support groups, and we already have a hell of alumni program that for being open one quarter. We opened June 12th. Our alumni program. A lot of places wait a year and a half to start their alumni program because just as people are graduating treatment, it takes time to build it. But Eric was adamant on day one to start, and our first alumni event it was like 45 days after we opened. We had everyone come back, and it was pretty incredible. It was such a gift to be in that room and hear it never gets old, guys. I've got to witness a couple admissions firsthand, a couple graduations firsthand, and then the 30 days, the 60-day marks, and now the 90-day marks because of IRC.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
It never gets old. I asked Eric, does it ever get old? If he goes, if it does, we're changing careers.
Yeah. So what's the average amount of time that someone is at the facility, and is it different based on their addiction? For example, does it take longer for opioids versus alcohol or certain drugs?
It's a good question. So it does in Detox. The program's based on a 30-day program. We are a private facility, so insurance does unfortunately try to dictate how long someone can stay in the totality of the program. So Detox, if you come in, and not everybody comes in and requires Detox, most do, but Detox can vary. We typically say 5 to 7 days for opioids or fentanyl. Alcohol and benzos, which is Xanax, there's been times where it's up to 10 days. Alcohol, like I said about opioids and heroin, fentanyl to withdraw from it cold turkey won't kill you. But if you try to withdraw cold turkey from alcohol or Xanax, you can die. It can be fatal. My doctor told me don't even try it. They'll tell you to keep drinking.
Did you go on Suboxone?
I did not. No, I was on naltrexone, which is a once-a-day pill to reduce cravings.
Yes.
It's similar to a shot that's out there called Vivitrol.
Yep.
Which is a shot in the ass once a month, which is an opioid blocker, but also it would also, if I were to start drinking, block the effects.
Yeah, you'd feel like crap, just like Suboxone.
Like crap.
Yep.
Right. It's similar, and I was on naltrexone in rehab, and then for about 9 months after, and then with my doctor and my team, I made the decision. My mother's an RN. I didn't make the decision on my own because the foundation of my recovery is humility that I don't know it all. I liken it to I got sober at 30. In my 20s, 20-year-olds, no offense, young man, a lot of 20-year-olds think they know everything.
He really does.
He does, but
I'm 24, so I definitely know everything.
100%.
He's about to tell you he actually knows.
You guys got a
already.
trivia coming up, too.
Over the past 4 years, that's where I learned everything.
Got it. Yeah, and I had a big humbling in rehab, and it saved my life. So humility, accountability, and faith for me were my ultimate, my three foundations. And I say that because I made this decision not on my own. I made this decision with my team, and my fear was here, if I'm on naltrexone, I get in a severe car accident, and somebody goes to saw a leg off, I'm going to feel it, and I didn't want to do that. So because it's an opioid blocker, and they give you pain pills, and you're out of it, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, it does it's the worst feeling ever, man. You try to mix the two. But I got on Suboxone. That honestly, just like what I was telling the patients about the Suboxone, like whoever had the opioid addiction, I'm like, the Suboxone saved me, man. Like it truly did. Cut me right off of craving anything. And then I did that for a year, and it kind of, my brain refreshed, so I didn't crave it anymore. Then I weaned myself off of Suboxone, which was, in my opinion, so much easier because you don't crave Suboxone. At least I didn't. I craved that opioid high. Suboxone doesn't do that. It just makes you kind of blah, but it shuts off your endorphins. But I was able to wean off of that, and all of a sudden, boom! And I told you, I don't crave painkillers. I haven't in years and years and years. It really helped.
But you can speak to the difference. You know what it feels like because it took your life over to crave it. Like, you know what the difference between craving it and craving's an understatement, right?
Your whole life revolves around
when you're addicted. You parenting your child comes second to your addiction.
I know.
You can't do function in life until you scratch that itch. Like, people have no idea, like, unless they have gone through it, what it does. It takes you over.
It does.
At your peak, Chris, how much were you drinking right before you got sober?
So a full plastic jug of Canadian whiskey, rich and rare.
Woo.
And shots of Rumpelmans.
Oh.
Just kind of all day, every day?
All day,
morning to night?
All day, every day.
Right when you woke up?
So when I would fall asleep, I would never have a drink I would never be without drink. So I would pass out wherever. Like, I never went to bed. So I was just usually on the couch. I would fall over, and I don't mean fall over, like just, I would be sitting up, and I would, my shoulder would nod off. Yeah. My dog would lay with me. I'd wake up in the morning, middle of the night probably. I'd go take a leak. I'd lay back down, and then when I'd wake up about 6:37, that drink I fell asleep with would now be like a melted rocks glass of what was in it, which was Canadian whiskey, formerly ice cubes, now liquid, and probably some either Diet Coke or Diet Sprite at that time of night. So I'd just throw a couple ice cubes in it, and that would be my first one because I wasn't going to waste that alcohol. Mm-hmm. So I did that for about 2 years after my old man died. And I always said it was and then I would then just drink out of those jugs a day, and then I had stopped doing Coke. So instead of doing Coke, I'd do it if I needed a little Kickstarter because I was getting tired. I'd throw back a shot of Rumpelmans that you could start a car with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So was it your father passing? Was that a trigger that elevated it? Was it already there before that?
So him and I were a lot, I was kidding around when I came in and said, what song? I said, play the Soprano song. We were a lot like Tony and Christopher in certain ways. There's a line that Christopher said he'd follow Tony through the gates of hell. Like, I would do that for my old man. We were so close. He wouldn't hold my nose shut there at the end, but
he's not going to try to kill you at the end when in a car accident.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
He would maybe take my Adriana up to Dover for some blow, but I mean, I don't know. But you know, we were so close. So when he died, I died, and I worked for him and everything. When but it was also my accountability. So when we worked hard, we played hard, we worked hard, right? And, I just lost the will to live after he died, and I think I was actively suicidal for 2 years. Like, I did not care. My sister said something. My younger sister said something to me through that. I wrote about it once, and I titled it 22 Months Dark. Because it was from his date of death to me checking into rehab was 22 months. And she said something in that time about eventually needing me to walk her down the aisle, because she's 10 years younger than me. It was her high school graduation when she actually found him. It was so just wrecked her life.
It's all good.
Sorry. She told me that she would need me to eventually walk her down the aisle. So that stuck with me. But for people that are faithful, like I always said it was the grace of God that got me to rehab. I think it was, and learning a lot about what the Holy Spirit is. I really think it was the Holy Spirit that got me off that couch and to my PCP, my primary care physician, who'd been trying to get me to rehab for 12 months at least, maybe more, and to say yes and then check into a place that was a hospital setting. Not a hospital, but it was not IRC. Let me tell you that.
Were you depressed when you went in there? Like, oh yeah.
Oh,
that's how I do it.
It was so my Facebook memory comes up every March 25th, and it says I posted scariest day of my life, and it absolutely was the scariest day of my life, but it was the best effing day of my life.
Yep.
And the most.
You didn't know at the time, did you?
I had no idea, and I checked in, and I told these folks, I said, I want to get to a point where I can sit around the pool, have a barbecue, and have a few Coronas, and they were just like taking notes, like they're like, we just got to get the guy in the door, because they knew. Okay, all right. I knew it all, Cole. I knew it all.
Yeah,
still.
he did.
And then that night, I had a screaming match with Jesus, and I lost. But I woke up with like this incredible sense of peace.
So did you kick it the first time you went to rehab? And I'm wondering also, I mean, obviously your guys' center is fantastic, but not everybody.
Come out, see it.
I know, I definitely will.
Come out.
I definitely will. How many people have to go through it again?
More than we'd like. I'm one of the lucky ones. Eric will tell you he had to go twice. I don't know. And let me tell you something, Charlie. Like when you get through something like that, and some people can. I think a good way to maybe say it that people can recognize is called survivor's guilt. I feel like one of the lucky ones, and when you feel like this gift of grace or luck, like that's why I've been doing mission work, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes, the podcast and writing and helping people, or making myself available at church or coffee shops or wherever, that anybody that's struggling, that I try to, because when you feel so lucky, you just have to reach your hand back and help. And we see that a lot in this industry. And up until Eric reached out, and I would say about 6 to 12 months ago, it's been, it's just been a passion. Now it's what a dream that it can. There's a business behind it, but when you feel this gift, you just like I can't just like lay my head on the pillow and like take it and not give. Like you have to just be able to show people that it's possible, because nobody in my circle thought it was possible for me to ever stop drinking. They thought it was over. They'll all tell you that. That was and then a lot of them used me as their benchmark. They would call and say, hey, how much were you drinking? They'd ask me the question you asked to see if they had a problem. And that was a mistake on their part, because there's a lot of different kinds of alcoholics.
Yeah, dude.
They still do it. I hesitate. It's a mistake on their part if they hear what I was drinking and think, I'm not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
That's a sign. If they're doing that, they got a problem.
Yep, 100%.
If they're doing that right now, if they are listening to this show and heard me say that I was drinking that much and say, oh, I'm okay, you're not okay.
I agree.
I'm telling you that right now.
Somebody's chiming in. They ask, what do you do when somebody comes in, then you evaluate their family? and it ain't good. And they got to go back, and they're walking into the meth den again, or walking into hell. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do with them afterwards? Like, where do they go? Like, how do you deal with that?
I mean, we have tons of resources with sober living communities and houses, and we work privately with the client. I mean, we see that. Unfortunately, I mean, a lot of people are a product of their environment. We've got
big time, dude.
People that come in and they come into treatment, and they're coming to treatment, and the place they were living is a crack house. I mean,
it's a straight up crack house.
Go back to that's not going to set you up for success. So, yeah, it's really important to get to that and to work on that. And some people have to leave the area. And Eric will tell you he went to Florida and New Jersey to get clean. I mean, he was driving. He's got his story. You guys should have him on sometime. He was going from Fairview Heights, Illinois, for a whole year. He was going to Jennings and Lucas and Hunt twice a day to score H.
That's a scary gig too, man. You got to do that twice
morning
a day.
And night.
Everybody sees your car there. I know. Everybody knows your car. They know your routine. They're watching you. They know you have cash on you too. Like, he was rolling the
white
dice
boy
every
from Fairview
time.
Heights.
Damn right.
Well, and I think the thing that you just highlighted there that's really important is that there's no such thing as a one size fits all. You don't just go to a place and get quote unquote fixed. It's not going to be the same pathway for everybody. Yeah. It's going to require a different input, a different environment, a different, 1 + 1. Sometimes it might look like it's going to equal 3. You got to go through and you got to get it figured out. Work on math skills too. We do cover everything.
You got to want it.
You got it, but yeah, and that's the point. Like, you got to get to a different point, because eventually at some point all the input in the world isn't going to change it if it doesn't connect with the person that's in the position.
It is what I could sell you, and what I can tell you is that sober is better. It is the drug, the chemical that's in alcohol plays BS on our brains, that we can't have joy without it, and that is BS, man. It's a big myth. I never thought that I would be able to go to a sporting event, a hockey game.
We go everywhere, man. Like the other night at Alvin Oak,
right?
Like, you're there for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Watching guys, and you're having a good time. Now, it's not easy. And Eric was there 5 hours hanging out. We're drinking in front of you like you guys. It's not easy.
No, I mean,
but you do it.
I just throw back a couple double espressos after dinner just to stay awake, because you guys keep chatting it up for about 2. And then eventually you say something stupid to piss Kate off, and then that's usually
that's the end of it. See you guys.
I feel like, and obviously, I drank a ton back in the day. Never had an addiction. Have a lot of people in my family that have addiction, but as I've gotten older, what you just said about alcohol, I just realized how much better my everyday life is without alcohol, just drinking casually. The times that I don't do that, how much healthier you feel, how much more you work out, you're more productive, you're more there with your family.
Clear.
You have less lethargy, right? I mean,
you're a father.
Yes. Just everything, everything improves. Even if I have 3-4 drinks at a night, and all of a sudden, middle of the night, one of my kids wakes up, I'm like, oh my God, why did I drink?
Yeah.
It really is poison. And I still drink. Don't get me wrong. I like to drink alcohol, but man, your life is so much better when you're not drinking it.
It's so funny that we forget. It's sometimes like, boil it down to simple stupid. If we're really struggling between the ears, right? We're having a bad day, or we're down on ourselves. Okay, I'm feeling a little depressed. I'm going to go dump a depressant down my throat. We learned.
Double down.
It's the first thing we learned at this. We categorize them, right? Alcohol is a depressant. Like, we learned that as a kid when they teach us about alcohol, that it's a depressant. That's like the first thing I learned about alcohol. And we seem to forget that when we're like, man, I'm depressed, so I'm going to go drink some depressed.
Hey, what about...
I'm going to have a glass of depressed.
Hey,
pick it up.
Hey,
it's
what
just
about
like, we're
this?
stupid. Like, that's what are you doing?
What about this, Chrissy? Has there been, and this probably happens a lot too, where the family is like, he needs to get his ass in here, but the patient, doesn't want to. He's doing it for the family. He's doing it for everybody but himself. And he goes in there and he's just kind of like, nah, I'm not into it. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not part of this. They made me do it. Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, I would say more often than not, it starts that way, and then whether the family calls us, right? We get, in the last, this last Sunday was my literal 9.5 years. So in the last 9.5 years of my recovery journey, my 1 days at a time, I get more calls from family members that want it for their loved one than the person finally calls and says, I need help. Or, you know, and when that person calls, it's usually I have a friend who, and then about halfway through the conversation, the friend is like, okay, I'll be honest, it's me. And it's okay. I knew.
It's all good.
I knew as soon as you reached out, but it's cool. I'm glad you did. We can sell the person. I mean, my family wanted it for me for a long time before I mean, this is how it works. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you're self-medicating and escaping from it. And it's what's scary now, guys, is the margin for error is non-existent with the poison that's on the street. And I am convinced, and I don't think you can convince me that it's otherwise, that the synthetic fentanyl that's coming to our communities is the 2023 version of anthrax, and it should be treated as a chemical weapon. It's that deadly. It's that deadly to our first responders. It's kids are thinking they're taking Adderall in high school to study for a test, and they're dying instantly. Happening in our schools here in this city. Those of us in this room with kids, it's just so scary. I know of a gal that was not big into drugs. She was drinking at a bar, and she did a key bump of coke, and it was fentanyl, and it killed her. And it's not
little key bump.
Yeah, bad mistake to do that, but it's not a death sentence. And I gave a eulogy a month ago to a 26-year-old only child for his parents, who I love dearly, and he was 2 years clean. Got in a fight with his girlfriend and relapsed, and it was a one-hit quit. And it's like playing Russian roulette with one empty chamber, if that, or a full barrel. It's not. It's the overdose of yesterday was. You would get clean, and then you would relapse and go back to your usage that you used to use.
At the height of your usage, yeah.
And it would stop your heart. So we'd educate. Be smart if you relapse. Be smart if you relapse. Do not go back to that amount. Be smart. Now they are smart. They know how to use, and it's just it happens to be poison and not actual fentanyl. So it's a chemical change, and it just kills you, and it wrecks an entire ecosystem of human beings. The family, the friends, teachers, everybody that loved that person is wrecked.
Completely wrecked.
And stop. It just stops. Like, this is what I mean by this. Like, so this kid that I just eulogized was 2 years clean and a lover of people that was bringing his hand back to so many people and showing them a better way and getting them into treatment out in Kansas City because he had to move away from Belleville. Now that's snuffed out. Now he's dead, and now all the people that he was going to help are gone. Like, that is just done. That is a dried up. So that's what it does.
It's horrible. It's a demon. Okay, so
yeah.
So what do you want to tell these families, the people who are listening, man?
Pick up the phone.
You got to just pick up the phone.
It's the hardest phone call you'll make, but just do it. And it's so there's nothing that you'll ever regret about making this phone call, and there won't be a more rewarding phone call. It's 1-877-472-0785. IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. You can always email at info@IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. And this is the type of place, if you ask for Eric, the CEO, he's gonna pick up the phone and talk to you. He'll talk to your loved ones. He will. He lives at this place.
He's a passionate man.
Jacob is our executive director. They both have so much clean time, and they work with each. They're I'm the guy on the golf course. I'm kidding. They are in that facility, and I get choked up talking about it, man. They will know your son or daughter's name. And for the women out there, their rock bottoms take longer because they have ways to survive longer on the streets, and that's as brutal as it sounds.
Oh God, yeah.
Come to Illinois Recovery Center. You'll be safe. We'll protect you. I promise you that. I give you my word. And we have the most amazing women's staff that will see you and take care of you. It's a safe place, I promise, and we will see you and take care of you.
Yeah. Well, man.
Guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Chris.
Man, appreciate it.
And we'll keep those pamphlets out right here. I got those. Illinois Recovery Center, I talk about it all the time, and you're doing a hell of a job. Eric Conley's doing a hell of a job. We'll get him in here, too, by the way, and we'll shoot the breeze with him. He'll tell his story, which is just incredible.
He'll chirp me a little bit.
He'll chirp you,
yeah.
And we'll both chirp you, because that's what we do.
That's what we do, baby.
But, man, I appreciate you coming in, dude. Really do.
Are you guys going to the rink tonight?
To watch the con dog do his thing? Probably not. I got a podcast after this. Actually, we have a kid on named Colin Wilson who just wrote in the Players Tribune about addiction and coke and all this stuff.
Right.
Oh yeah. So we got him coming on and
cool. That's But I'd like to hear that. Go look forward to that.
But appreciate you coming in, Chrissy. We love you, man. You're doing
Charlie, come see us.
Good work.
I will. Come
we'll
see
go
us
all
down at
out
Clover. Come see us at the at IRC, baby.
I will for sure.
We'll do it.